Hey everybody, I'm going to show the Twinchies that I made for a Twinchie swap. And a Twinchie, if you don't know, is a little piece of art that is 2 inches by 2 inches, so Twinchies 2 inches. And it's kind of like an artist trading card on a miniature scale. I did 6 categories, and this is the first category I'm going to show. This is the summer category. And I always thought that sunflowers just embody summer. So what I did was I found these really pretty dimensional paper sunflower embellishments at the craft store, and I made a 2-inch by 2-inch mat of matching yellow cardstock, and then I cut a smaller mat of green denim cardstock. And then I used a white journaling marker to write shine, and it kind of looks like chalk to me, and chalk is kind of a trendy thing right now. And I'm going to spread these out so you guys can see my shine Twinchies. I had to make 8 shine Twinchies, and I'm just going to pull out a little bit so you guys can see my shine Twinchies. And I don't know brands of this all craft store. I shop Hobby Lobby and Michaels and Joann, so my supplies come from those different places. So those are my Shine Twinchies for the summer category. And moving along, the next category I had to do was Valentine's category. And this is what I came up with for my Valentine Twinchie. Now, what I did was I took some black cardstock, just plain black cardstock, and I misted it with glimmer mist. I used silver and just iridescent kind of pearlized, or I guess they call it aurora borealis, and I misted it and let it dry, and then I cut the cardstock into squares. The love heart was done on the Cricut Explorer from the Cricut Design Space. So I cut out the loves and I ran them through a Xyron to make the back sticky, and I just stuck them down so that you can see the embellished cardstock through the holes. And I took the cardstock and trimmed a little bit so that it would have a little bit of a top and bottom border. So I did the hot pink. And in person, it's much more of a contrast with the silver and the iridescent. So it's much more of a I've got 6 of these. They're kind of stuck together. And let's see. There we go. And those are my Valentine / love category Twinchies. And let me scooch those out of the way. Next category, I had spring, and I wanted to do more than just cutting and pasting. I wanted to do some art style Twinchies too. So this is one of the 2 art ones that I did, and what I did was I stamped on art paper, and I think this is very lightweight watercolor paper that can be run through a inkjet printer. I don't remember what pound weight, but it's the lightest you can get. So I stamped it and outlined it with a fine tip Sharpie, and then filled it in with colored pencil. So this is just colored pencil work, and you can kind of see the texture of the paper. And this is the spring category. I thought a butterfly for spring. And let's see. I had to do 8. So pardon me for coughing, I'm getting over having bronchitis. So that is my spring, and that's one of the ones that's an actual art technique using media, so I really liked doing those. And then the next category is the pet category. And with this one, I just went simple and colorful and fun. I used squares of paw print pattern paper, a bright royal blue cardstock, black cardstock, and then I used, these are metal brads, they're paw print brads, so I thought I just wanted to do something fun and simple and colorful, and for the pet category. And let me lay these suckers out, and I had to do 7 pet. So those are my pet Twinchies. And we get those out of the way. And then the next category was coffee. And here we go. This was my coffee Twinchie. What I did with the coffee Twinchies, I took 2" by 2" squares of printed pattern paper that have kind of a linen print in a brown and cream. And I cut these overlay pieces on the Cricut of the coffee cup with the steam coming off of it. And then I used tiny, tiny micro brads. And these are actually brads, copper brads. And they're a little bit brighter in person. The brightness of the copper isn't showing up as much on the video, but the brads are just no bigger than a pinhead, and those I thought were really neat. And I had to do a lot of coffee Twinchies. I had to do 9, and this one was a little bit challenging because once I cut on the Cricut, getting all those little steam curly cues without tearing them was a chore. And then I ran them through a Xyron to stick them down. I just have the disposable. In fact, I'll show you. I've got it right here. It is 3 inches by 20 feet, and this runs around $12. And I usually use a coupon on it at the craft store. And this is a really good deal if you want to use Xyron for letters or small pieces. If you have a die cutter or a die cutting machine. So those are my coffee Twinchies. And then the last category was flowers, and I did another art technique with my flowers. This one I did watercolor and ink. What I did was I used the thin grade watercolor paper. I stamped the flower images is a rubber stamp, and I stamped it with StazOn ink so it wouldn't run. And then after it dried, I watercolored them with just cake watercolors that come in the little pans like you used when you were a kid, except these are the slightly upgraded craft store version. I think my set has 36. So I used 3 colors on the flower, 2 colors of yellow in the middle, and then I think I used 2 colors of green on the outside. And then once I was done, I used the fine tip Sharpie to go over the design where the watercolor had kind of muted it so that I could have a little bit sharper and more graphic looking of a design. So those are my flower Twinchies, my watercolor Twinchies. And I'm going to go ahead and move everything together so I can pan around and let you guys get a good look at all my Twinchie goodness. Like I said, I've never done Twinchies before. I've done many artist trading card swaps, and I thought, well, you know, Twinchie is just a smaller artist trading card. Why not try some Twinchies? And people put them in albums. People use them as an embellishment on scrapbook pages or on cards. You can put them on little displays. Really, I think people use them either as individual pieces like an artist trading card, or they use them as a component or treat them as an embellishment. So it'll be really interesting to see what I get from all of my swap partners.